Dr. Rashmi Mishra has a work experience of more than 17 years of spanning in the field of microbiology and its application in the sector of food, pharmacy, and environment. She is currently working in Noida Institute of Engineering and Technology as Associate Professor and Head Department of Biotechnology. She is also a mentor to UNECO, which is a startup company, and Krisha Kupkar Livelihood Upliftment Foundation. Dr. Mishra has published two books with New Delhi Publication House apart from highly significant manuscripts. She gives consultancy to academic and industries in microbiology, health and hygiene, and academic related areas. After receiving her PhD from CMFIR Dhanbad, she worked as an assistant and associate professor at Institute of Integrated Learning and Management at Greater Noida. And with this, Dr. Mishra, please go ahead with your presentation.
Thank you so much, Dr. for introducing me to myself also, apart from the all participants. Thank you so much. Today, before starting my talk, I'd like to wish everybody a very happy new year. And thank you so much, Dr. Prabhu, for making me part of this webinar. I would like to share my views on the career prospects in biotechnology. So, can I share my slide, please? Just I'll be sharing my slides.
Sure.
Hope it's visible.
Yes, it is.
It is visible?
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much. In the morning session, there was a query somebody asked, and which was to some extent resolved also by Dr. Arvind, like the choice of subjects or the discipline that we need to go. Hopefully, by the end of the talk, I'll be able to clear that query to some extent. And today, while talking about the career prospects of biotechnology, I'll be discussing the areas, that is, what is biotechnology, a brief history. The major of the history is already covered by Dr. Kanchan Mishra today in the morning session. Little significance about biotechnology, scope of biotechnology, and the career prospects in biotechnology. So when we talk about what is biotechnology, as majority of the participants, I think, are from biotechnology background, doing at graduation, post-graduation, or doctoral level. So they can relate to it that biotechnology is a science which is a blend with technology, a biological science, which deals with all the aspects of living organism and the technology applied to have the best benefit to the mankind. But to add on to this, biotechnology is actually a multidisciplinary paper. And in this paper, we can see the indulgence of mechanical engineering, we can see medical science, we can see the blend of computer science engineering, we can see electronic engineering, we can see minerals, we can see environmental science. So it's an entire, all the science area that is blend with it, it is coming in biotechnology. So it is one of the subject which can be exploited to its maximum to have the best benefit to the mankind. Now, when we talk about biotechnology, the history, how it came, was already discussed by Dr. Kanchan Mishra in the morning today. But how it started in biotechnology in India, on paper, what we see is that the first company that came up in India was Biocon, which was established in 1978. By that time, in India, the subject as biotechnology was not working as a subject. It was not in a course or any discipline that was not being carried on. In 1970s, later half of 70s, few selected scientists were sent abroad in different countries to take training on biotechnology, and then they started working in India in different labs. And then the Center of Cellular and Molecular Biology, CCMB, which is a part of CSIR lab, was established in Hyderabad. And with the growth of biotechnology in India, then the Department of Biotechnology came in, which was established under the Ministry of Science and Technology. And then it started progressing, the concept of biotechnology in India. But if we correlate how coined biotechnology came up, then it was first coined in 1919. And as I said that before that, the biotechnology was not taught as a subject. So this term biotechnology was coined by Kaholi Ehrlich, a person who was an agriculture engineer. So again, we can relate that biotechnology is a multidisciplinary branch, and it is also related to agriculture, because anything that is related to biology, anything that is related to science definitely will come under the scope area of biotechnology. But if we relate biotechnology more towards life, and if we take it more back somewhere, then we can say that it is a science which is as old as human mankind. From the time mankind is there, biotechnology is there. Like when we start anything in Hindu mythology, we say that we start with Pratham Pujya, Lord Ganesha. So Lord Ganesha is very closely related to biotechnology, and what all the research that we discussed today from morning to discuss the previous one of Dr. Arvind. We talked about different research and different aspects of biotechnology. When we talk about Lord Ganesha, it's not only the mythology, but we also talk about a transgenic god, because Lord Ganesha is a transgenic god. So when we talk about the scope of biotechnology, we are just venturing the different areas. We are working on different areas because biotechnology is existing from the time of Lord Ganesha. Lord Ganesha is not a normal born god. He is born with the grace of stem cell, and he is also a god who's transgenic, who's a defined god who's having a body of human and a head of an elephant. So when we talk about any other discipline came when the mankind came. So any student who are there with the queries of biotechnology should at least be satisfied that this is an area which is very long time it is existing, and still it is working, and still it is growing. When we talk about different field of biotechnology, we are having microbiology, biochemistry, genetic engineering, we are having medical fields which are associated, agricultural fields are associated to biotechnology, and the different scope that is coming. When we talk about microbiology, agriculture, environment, medicines, dairy industries, these all come under the scope of microbiology. Now, why we talk more about microbiology, which is being associated to all other industries, is because we human beings have got a tendency of using things, especially if it is readily available. We feel that we are the highest category of life form, so we can use the other life forms too, and that is very genuine and very true, because we have more of applications. We can apply brain more and make other things function. So when it comes to microorganism, whenever even I talk to my student, I say microorganisms are one thing which is present everywhere, and it is very much close to God, because two things that we cannot see and continuously keep working. So all the experiments that we have talked today are all related to microbiology some or the other way, if not to microbes. Because microbe is something which continuously works, made in field of agriculture, environment, medicine, dairy, and different industries. The only thing is we need to harness them and to make them work for us. That is one area which is being explored yet in many different aspects. Because microorganisms can do anything possible that we can think about. We have seen them working in different sectors of environment, we have seen them working in different sectors of medicine. All we need to explore them, and we need to grow them. They don't charge anything for working. That's the best part about microbes. They don't take anything from us for giving what we need. So microbiology is one area for the student which is growing very widely, and in almost all area involvement of microorganisms are there. Microbiology is there. Industry, dairy, agriculture, environment, as just we talked about. So a lot of industries are coming up, and a lot of industries are established in this field, which are providing scope for students to join in. Now, it depends on which level the students join in. As just Dr. Arvind discussed with us, that the students can either join the academia, or student can just join the research. So likewise, the student at which level wants to join any company or any research organization, because definitely if we broadly divide these area, we can now, but we can divide into academia, research, and industry. There are three broad areas where the students of biotechnology can join in and make their career. It's how they see themselves. If you want to see yourself in any industry, then definitely you have to have somehow master's degree. Before master's degree, it's not possible for students to have an understanding of the subject and to join any industry. Because definitely anybody taking you and paying you will, because you are not a microbes, you are definitely a person, and we all need salary if we are working. Only it's microbes who work without taking money. They just need food and they work for that. But we are human beings, so we are having necessities which can be fulfilled by money only. So we need to work for money. Whenever you join any industry, definitely you need to have qualification which will meet to the requirement of industry. Food industry, dairy industry, a beverage industry, and an environmental sector. But you need to have a degree as for that. So till graduation level, may it be a BSc or may it be a BTech level student, they are not so sound enough that if they join in industry, they can either be mentioned to join in terms of R&D sector or production. Because these are if you join industry, then these are the two broader area that I'll be coming again after discussing the different subjects. When a student take biochemistry as a paper and want to proceed in it, then definitely biochemistry is a backbone. May it be microbiology, may it be genetic engineering, because biochemistry is the expression, the way the body expresses. It's all about the biochemistry. So it is in terms of medical biotechnology, in terms of microbiology, in terms of agriculture biotechnology, in terms of industrial biotechnology. Biochemistry is a very basic paper. So whenever you are studying this paper, you need to have a very clear concept of the paper. If you don't have a clear concept of this paper, you will find it difficult to proceed in microbiology as a career. You'll find it difficult to proceed yourself as a genetic engineer, as an agricultural biotechnologist, or in medicine or pharmacy. So this is a very basic paper which is involved with all the papers. Even in terms of bioinformatics, if we talk today, then biochemistry is again involved in terms of biotechnology also. When we go for protein-protein interaction or other interaction, that is something very basic that you learn in graduation itself. Now, as I mentioned, in the field of agriculture, we have seen different products that is coming in and it is already working. So agriculture biotechnology is again a field, though it is a research field, though all the fields that I'm talking about, biochemistry, microbiology, or in agriculture biotechnology, they all are having research end, but definitely any organization, may it be government or a private research organization, they both have two different sectors. If anybody has to develop a transgenic maize, so definitely you need an end where the scientists are working, genetic engineers are working to develop a transgenic maize, but definitely you have a production house, then you have a place where you need to send it to the market and make people understand. While doing my PhD, I realized that biotechnologists do have a scope in industry where equipments are made. Definitely biotechnologists are they are involved in making of instrument, and so bioinstrumentation is a discipline which they learn how to make a device, how to make an instrument. It may be a medical device or a device that is used in the lab like a PCR machine, or may it be a bioreactor. But not only at that level, BTech or BSc biotechnologists are also taken in industries where they can go and promote and say the know-how of the equipment. Because anywhere, if a person comes and gives an equipment to me, definitely I need to have a demonstration. I need to know how the equipment works. If the minimum basic thing that every lab needs is a reactor, is a PCR machine, is an ELISA machine, is the ELISA kit, ELISA reader, these are basic things that everywhere it is required. And when these company manufacture the product, any company which is manufacturing a product need it to be sent to the people who actually require. So one is the marketing field. That is a different sector. People after doing biotech graduation, they can go for MBA. After doing BTech or BSc in biotech, they can make a future after doing MBA in the same company. But on the other hand, when we are installing this instrument, we need to know a person, we need to have a person who can help out with proper installation of the device. For that also biotechnologists are required. So it's not only the research that is growing in biotechnology, side by side, simultaneously, people who are not inclined towards research, because everybody definitely cannot have interest in both areas. None of us will have an interest in industries, and all cannot have interest in research too. All cannot have interest in academia too. So different sectors are still there, and these are different sectors which interest people, and as per your interest, definitely you have to attain that degree. Again, when we talk about genetic engineering, if you are having specialization, if you are having a cutting edge, and if you're having liking for genetics, then you can develop your career as a genetic engineer, where you learn stem cells, you learn cloning, in vitro fertilization, and in vitro fertilization is again a very upcoming area. Stem cells are again a very upcoming area. Why? Because you are helping mankind, you are helping medical science with it. And one thing what I have seen right when I started teaching in 2001 is until today in 21 when I interact with students, what I feel that biotechnology is a second choice of student, and it's actually very hurting to know that it's a second choice of student. Why it is a second choice of student? For me, biotechnology was the very first choice. So for me, it is never good to hear that biotechnology is a second choice. But generally, majority who are there in the platform today may have taken biotechnology because couldn't go for medical. But if biotechnology is not there, if a biotechnologist is not there, believe me, a doctor cannot stand, an agriculture scientist cannot stand, an instrument company will not stand. No environment will be pollution free if biotechnologists are not there. So please don't make biotechnology your second option. If even it was when you took biotechnology, don't still have it as your second option. Make it very clear that this is the only choice, and if you're here, you are in a very right place. These are the basic subjects that is existing, and we are working a lot over it. Now, another that is very upcoming is AI, artificial intelligence. Now, artificial intelligence is a paper of entirely computer science, then why it comes under the scope of biotechnology? Because artificial intelligence is actually based on intelligence, and that is biology, and that is biotechnology. The only thing is we are creating it artificially. So now a lot of work is coming up in the field of medical science and agriculture, biotechnology and food technology blended with AI, and that is again part of biotechnology. And now even AI has been included as a subject by AICT with the batch which has started in 2020, because they need to know AI. They need to know artificial intelligence and how it works. The concept of AI is something very simple, and I think majority of us today hearing on the platform, we know, but just I'll give a brief about it in one line, is whatever we feel and whatever we perceive is recorded in our brain. So likewise, we have created a device which takes in the data, and we have to train the machine with n number of data, because we are sharper any day, we are sharper than AI, we are sharper than machine. So whatever comes, we see it once and we store it memory. So if you see one human face, you record the feature, and you can be very sure if you see next person, then also you will say that this is that person. This is also a human race, human being. If 50 people you see, if 100 people you see, then also you can record it as and say that this is a human being, because you have recorded the feature, the specific feature which belongs only to human being. Likewise, when we talk about AI, we make any data, any big data analysis can be done, and we take that data and we analyze it, and then the machine gets trained with that data. And whatever the new data you give to that machine, it gives a prediction likewise. That is very much being implemented in field of medical science in case of the prediction of disease and patient. It is very much actively working in field of agriculture in case of prediction. It's not only the designing and operation, but right from designing an operation, doing an operation, and analyzing things, it is also working in very small things where the farmers or where a common person can benefit. So biotechnology is reaching today to all people who are existing in very common way, because biotechnology is a paper, as I started initially, is a subject which is for people. It has started from people, and it is existing from the time of mankind. That is, now AI is helping us to detect and to predict and have a solution of a problem in a faster way. That is what AI is doing these days. Analyze big data. It is helping us whenever we get a lot of data, and it's because we are human beings. Sometimes we can make error because it's not that we cannot work like a machine. So that is what the work AI is doing, because AI is not having a scope of getting fatigued. Now, when we talk about medical biotechnology, like from morning, you all have been hearing about same monoclonal antibody and the production of medically important protein, vaccines, stem cell technology, and tissue cultures. These things we are listening from morning, and they are very actively working. So when we talk about the stem cell, that is a forte of Dr. Prabhu, who is the CEO of the company who has organized, right, Dr. Prabhu, if you're there. So I'd like to share a story about stem cell. Today we heard a lot of stories about stem cell, a lot of research stories of stem cell. So I would like to share another story of stem cell, which is also very much related to mythology. As I said, that biotechnology is existing right from the time mankind is existing, or probably even much before that. When all those who are there in the platform today, we all know the story of Kalima, and we all, if we don't know the story, we have all have seen. Whenever we see uh, Devi Kali, we see that she is having a mundmal. She is wearing a garland full of skulls. So, what is the story behind it, and why it happened? Why is she wearing? She's a goddess. Then why she's wearing a garland of skulls? She's wearing a garland of skulls because that is the story of Rakta Bij. He was a very famous demon of his time, and Rakta Bij had he was graced that if anybody kills him, and even if a drop of blood falls on the ground, then by that one drop of blood, multiple Rakta Beach can come in, because, and that is the ability of totipotency, that is the ability of stem cell, that he was given that wish, he was granted with that wish, that every drop of Rakta Beach will have the potential to develop thousand and thousand of Rakta Beach. So from there comes the story of stem cell technology. That is what we say, that we can connect biotechnology from the time much before the mankind is existing. When we talk that in vitro fertilization is a very important area which is helping many people to become parents these days. So in vitro fertilization, and um, these concept was when I discussed about Lord Ganesha. If you see to the Indian mythology story, and if you see to the story of Lord Kartikeya, he is a product of artificial in vitro fertilization. So biotechnologists shouldn't have a fear that how will they settle and where will they settle. Somehow in the time of this COVID pandemic, what we say, it is a black era that is going on for entire race, because we all are seeing with the devastation we all are undergoing during pandemic. But biotechnology is a field which has got maximum acknowledgement. Biotechnology is a field now everybody knows what biotechnologists are, because even if it is a virus which has been designed, it is by a biotechnologist who has designed the virus, or even if it is a vaccine that is coming up for which we all are praying, it is a biotechnologist who is doing it. So biotechnologists, right from designing the COVID virus, it's also creating vaccines to protect the human race. So this is the role of biotechnologists, and they are involved in all different sectors. But when we talk, that is, if you relate it to medical science, apart from medical science, when we talk about different industry, as we have already discussed, we have seen biotechnologists growing in agriculture industries, where they go for hybridization of plants. In food industries, biotechnologists are working in R&D as well as in the production sectors. In pharma industry, in research, right from the morning we have been discussing so much of research that now you all are at least satisfied that research is one area where biotechnologists are growing very well. And for that, just Dr. Arvind has shared, like we are having now many labs which take students after their masters as junior research fellow. But definitely you have to qualify the examinations for that. You have to qualify your GRF for that, and then only you can join an industry, or if they're in any research lab. Research labs are private as well as the government. But I initiated the topic, and then I said that I'll be concluding it at the end. Is when we talk about research, then you have to be a research fellow. After being research fellow, when you complete your doctorate degree, then you can join somewhere, because by that doctorate degree you take training in that specialized area, and you are now, because it's a practical field, it's a field where you need to learn things more and more. It's a research area, so you need to have doctorate degree to pursue. If you want to be in teaching, then definitely again you need to have master's plus degree as per the norms now what has come in AICT, that by 2021 you need to have a doctorate degree. So those who are thinking of being into teaching, please get yourself registered very soon for doctorate degree, because without that it's not possible to be in teaching now. I mean, the pharma sector is a sector where biotechnologists are working and creating new drugs, because now it is very specific drug designing is coming. So for that, it's not the pharmacist who will be able to work. If it is any specific disease, if you are working on, then the disease may be a genetical disease, as just it was discussed in the previous talk, then definitely biotechnologists are involved there. We are talking about nano drugs these days. So without biotechnologists, nano drugs cannot come up. Food processing industries, then we are having bioprocess industries which work basically on biochemistry and enzyme therapy. They are also taking up biotechnologists. And there are people like Dr. Prabhu Mishra who are having their own startup and are working as entrepreneur. So they are also coming up in the field of biotechnology. Now, because everybody has got different way of thinking, we discussed IPR. It was discussed by Dr. Arvind. That is again an area where biotechnologists play a very vital role, because see, now IPR is something like if you have a property which is physically measured, you can register it on your name. But if you have a property that you have created, which where monetary values are not included, it is not physical. So it is your mental property that your thought process, by analyzing many things, by seeing things, what you have come to a level, then it is your intellectual property, and that is also your property because you have designed it. It is your creation. So anything that we create need to have a value, because time is most important, and anything that you give time to need to be paid back. So likewise, if you are giving time in thinking and creating anything, it is also your intellectual property, and that need to be protected. So if your intellectual property is being protected, so biotechnology is an area which is having many things which are already existing, and we are just researching and refining it. So in the area of biotechnology, the process of patent, as just discussed, the 5 tools of patent, you need to know how it is processed, how much analysis is to be done. Because when we talk about research, then only comes IPR. When we talk about research, then in research is the area where two people think in same direction, or even if one people is thinking, a lot of piracy happens in research. People take each other's work and get it done. People can take each other's thought process and then work on it. So to avoid these things, IPR is very important area in biotechnology. So this is also a paper. BTech biotechnologist and MTech biotechnologist study this paper. It may not be existing in other subjects, but it is existing in biotechnology, because biotechnology is, again, as we discussed, that is a research-based area, and whenever you are having more of thought process, more of intellectual properties are generated. This is an era where biotechnology is involved with all the subjects. As I just started with, it is involved with your electronics, it's involved with mechanical engineering, it's involved with computer science engineering, biochemical engineering, definitely it is there, in environmental energy engineering, in food technology. So biotechnology is an area having maximum scope. Every day we hear any small or big companies are rising in the area of biotechnology. Even when we talk about Ramdev ji has developed all the industry which is having a base of biotechnology, because he is working more on herbs, he is working more on production of crops and hybridization. So definitely all people those who are growing, coming up these days, are in terms of biotechnology, because life is something that will never end. So, biotechnologists, before concluding, I would like to say that biotechnologists are people who initiate things, who create things, because we have the ability to genetically modify the things and then to create it. We have an ability to terminate the things. If it is not working well, we have the ability to bring it to an end. Just as we talk about COVID, the COVID is created by biotechnologists, and if the COVID has to end up, it is by a vaccine, that then also biotechnologists are involved. The complete process which is running is also being run by biotechnologists. That is the growth of people, how they are managing the food, different industries, where only biotechnologists are involved. So right from creation till end, it's all inside a biotechnologist. When we started with Lord Ganesha, so I'll try to conclude it with all three essence of life, that is Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. They are known as the creator, producer, and the uh, Lord Shiva is the destroyer. So all three are inside every biotechnologist, and every biotechnologist has to search and find out what is inside you, and then you can definitely make that career, make that field as your career. In whichever direction you want to go, whichever subject you take, it is just you can explore, and entrepreneurship is one of the very upcoming area. A lot of funding is being done to entrepreneur those who are coming up. Even currently, Barack has taken out a position, fellowship proposal of 50 lakh. Those who are having any idea, they can definitely put up that idea. It is open till February. Probably 20th February it is open, where you can put your idea, you can have a mentor, and you can develop it, and they'll be granting you fund for that. So a lot of work is being done everywhere, and also in India, where biotechnologists can grow, because this is the only field which can grow, because bio is attached to it, which is life, and life only grows. With this, I would like to end up. Thank